This is Unmuted with my girls, Z and Ross the Boss. Talk about it, ladies.
Hello, 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 family and friends. Hey, y'all. And welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. You know what you logged into. You see these faces. You know what's up. It is unmuted time with your girl Z and Ross
Hey.
the Boss. Hey, podcast time, right? Right? Go off. So, hey,
Yeah.
y'all, how y'all doing? Checking in. How's everybody, right? Um, Before we get started in today's episode, though, we wanted to talk a little bit about the title of today because I think before we get into how your heart is doing, the title is in line
Hmm.
with how our hearts are and what the episodes will be today. So today we're gonna get into a little burnout, y'all. Running on E, the truth about burnout. So again, can we say running on E, running on empty? It's not like these gas prices ain't already high, because who wants to
Huh.
pay those, right?
That's another
But
thing
then
that's
what
running on
happens?
empty.
Come on, my gas tank running on E. But also, what happens when your body is running on E? Hello.
Mm.
So we're gonna get into that a little bit today on this episode of Unmuted with Z and Ross the Boss. So we're gonna check in with my girl Z, and I'm gonna ask, as I always ask, Z, how's your heart?
Today I ain't gonna lie, my heart is a little bit burned out. It's running on E. But I don't know. It's felt like the summer has been summering, and July is just one of those months for me. It's just super busy, full of things to do, and you're trying to find the right balance, with kids out of school, birthdays, work, all the extra stuff. So I know that I am a little tired. I am a little tired. My heart has been a little heavy, just based on a lot of things that I've been seeing lately that's been happening. I know I especially have seen a lot of the continued attack against immigrants, and that just puts me in a funk on its own. I hate injustices in the world, so that puts me in a funk. But I will also talk about the good. And today, Shamel and I had a really good conversation with a future guest on our podcast, and she said something that just really resonated. She said to us that we were the light for her in this moment, but she was the light for us because just hearing her talk about everything, I was like, dang, you know what? It could always be worse. And she was that light for me. I don't want to speak for Ross the Boss, but I think I think I'm on the right spot when I say that she was a light for us today. So because of that, I feel a little bit better. But she said something that resonated heavy when she was like, sometimes there's days that I feel like tapping out. I feel like, yeah, I don't feel like fighting, but then I remember. And then yeah, it can get exhausting trying to be out there helping community or just taking in information, especially if you hate injustices. Like having to see something every day it takes a toll on you, but not forgetting what we're doing it for. And then so I know that Ross and I always talk about how there's moments that we know, like I know when Ross is tapped out and I'm like, hey, I got it. And vice versa. She knows when I'm tapped out and then she got it. And then so we have each other just kind of like, moving forward. But to all of you out there, if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. Like we feel it. I know we try to always be positive, but there's just times that it is real empty, running on E. 100%. Not only the car, but also us. And then gas prices are high, and so is trying to get in some me time, right? I know that me time for me would be being in a spa, a resort, having a massage. But right now, the way our pockets are, sometimes we can't get that. So, how do we find the ways to fill up that tank for ourselves, right? And so, shout out to Dr. Ebony. If she's out there listening, she'll be a future guest. And I'm sure you all will love her like we loved her just by hearing her. So, Yeah, I know I said a lot, but I think that just because of the type of episode and the type of climate that we are right now is very necessary to hear it because I'm sure that a lot of us are going through it. It's July and it feels like it's December. Like, what is happening?
Correct.
It feels like it's been a 2026 and we still have a few months to go. So, yeah, it's interesting nonetheless, but I'm excited for today's episode. I'm excited to have the conversation that needs to happen. This is very necessary. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, Ross the Boss, my friend, how is your heart today?
She's exhausted, darling. She's exhausted, you know? I don't even want to steal the thunder of the episode because we will get into it, but just exhausted is how the heart is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Even with us, taking a little bit of um, a little break, during my birthday week, and using that company earned PTO, honey. Still feeling a little exhausted, and but there's reasons behind it. So I know that we're gonna cover some of those things today. So that's just where the heart is right now.
I sometimes think we need a vacation from a vacation.
Correct.
Like, it's 100% needed because you go from vacationing to then running into work, and it's like there was no soft landing. It was like you were just thrown out of the airplane with no parachute. That's how it feels.
Absolutely.
So,
Mhm. Mhm.
well, hopefully after this episode, we'll get our hearts and our tanks where we need them to be. At least if we can get them halfway, I feel like that's a win all on its own. But we really want to hear from you all out there. And I feel like sometimes we're conditioned to like just push through and don't complain, right? Don't complain. You got to work. You got to keep going. You got to do these things. So if you feel like you want to, or you feel like you don't have a space to just say it out loud, you can always use our social media platforms. Like, you can always say it, you can message it to us, you can put it in the comments. Let's find our community and it's okay to not be okay, right? And we know we say that a lot,
Mhm.
but I know that a lot of us we have to go into work and just be like, yay, I'm so happy. It's a great day. And it's like you can't be negative, right? Because then you're seen as, oh. So I think that having those spaces where you can just be yourself and say it out loud is very important, I think.
I agree. I agree. So let's get into it because I'm ready to freaking talk about it. Okay.
All
Period,
right.
point, and the blank, darling.
Period.
Um, um, I have to say, for me, if you're okay with me taking lead on this one, I think there's look, I didn't even stop to pause to see if you were okay because she was
I'm
just ready to
saying
go.
she just immediately like assumed that I was gonna say yes, but you were writing your assumption. You were writing your
Okay.
assumption.
Well, she was gonna go anyway. So so I think that there are so many things that lead to burnout. And I think that sometimes it just feels like, oh, well, you're go gadget everything, right? So for me, a lot of the feedback that I hear from people is just like, well, you're always doing something. You always have something going on. You're bouncing from this, where are you now? And I do think that that plays into some burnout of, um, wanting to dream big and have all these aspirations for all these things you want to do in your lifetime. But I think the thing that often is not talked about, especially for women, fellas, not leaving y'all out, but this is a very specific uh, female conversation right now. Um, I have been anemic my whole life. And as I have gotten older, it has just gotten worse. So I guess with the introduction of my menstrual cycle and the fact that at least once a month for some ladies, you have your menstrual cycle, and you are releasing some fluids that maybe you need
Mhm.
to keep you up and going, right? Um, And I did not realize the impact on just being, like when you're filling out those medical forms and you're just like, yeah, I've been anemic my whole life. It's just a thing. Yep, I'm anemic. And not until, the later uh, parts of my life and through COVID did I really realize like what that meant. Because it changed as our bodies change. So when I was younger, you have an abundance of everything, energy, like, you take a lick and keep on ticking and just keep, pumping. That's less of the case as you get, a little bit older. So as I've gotten older and right before COVID, I started to feel like just really worn down and really, really tired. And it wasn't the kind where people were just like, well, just go to bed earlier, just lay down. And I'm like, baby, that ain't it. Something's going on and something's wrong, right? And during COVID, I spent a significant amount of time back and forth to doctors to figure out like, my labs are coming back weird. My iron levels are low. My blood levels are low. I don't know what's happening because nothing is different than what it's always been, for my life. It was just my body's response to being anemic and the causes behind it, right? So when um, talking about being exhausted is not because I'm go gadget everything. It is 100% because again my body is responding differently now to whether it's my cycle or whatever. Than it did before. So during COVID, I didn't even know it was a thing that you could go get bags of iron from the hospital. And I remember getting lab work done at my primary care doctor, and then being like, "Oh no, 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 honey, you need to go over to the hospital because your iron is low,
Mm.
low." And I was like, "What does that even mean? I don't know." And I go over to the oncology unit, which is a whole nother thing, to see people in a different struggle and a different battle getting their chemo treatment. And there I am sitting getting 2 bags of iron at a time.
Wow.
And with my insurance, that was $7,000 a pop per bag.
With insurance?
So with insurance. So imagine without insurance. Crazy.
Wow.
So how easily I met my deductible just by going to get a bag of iron, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I remember one of the nurses saying to me, and it was crazy too, because how the world is so small and things come around full circle. The nurse who was giving me my iron was actually the nurse who was there with me when my mom passed away,
Oh,
who offered me
wow.
support then. And she, it had been years and she had seen, I'm sure, thousands of people, since my mom had passed. And she had never realized what an impact she had made on my life. So not only did I get to tell her thank you in that moment, but then as I was sitting in front of her, I remember her looking at me and she was like, "Your iron is so low. I am sure that this one bag of iron is not going to do anything for you." And I was like, "Mm-mm." And she was like, "Do you want me to see if I can call in another order to get you another bag?" Right. And just recognizing that it was a little bit different way of looking at being tired and being worn down because you can't just fix that by going to sleep, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and still navigating that now and trying to figure out like how do we get some semblance of like energy and those things back. But those are things that we don't really talk about. And I remember going to the gyno and he was like, "You would have never known that your periods were too heavy because I can," and he was a gentleman. And I remember him saying to me, "It's not like women are just sitting around in a circle talking about their periods." I was like, I have never been in a conversation where anybody is talking about their periods
Not like
other than the fact
that.
that we hate like that we hate having one. And he was like, "And then how do you compare your period to somebody else's? Like, how do you
True.
know? Like, that your
True.
it's regular for you because that's what it's always been since it started." But like, him saying like, but it's not normal, right? And he
Mhm.
was like, "So I'm sure you're exhausted all the time." And then just, having felt like, okay, somebody heard me, for the first time. And the crazy thing is, so here's the thing, again, full circle. Same gynecologist was my mama's gynecologist.
Wow.
I was like, "Bro," because when he said his name, I was like, "Why does his name sound familiar? Why does it?" And I said, "Oh my God, like you were my mom's gynecologist when she was still alive." And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." um, so anyway, I think that I look at being tired different.
Mhm.
Because I think that you and I, Z, have talked a lot about like the moments where we go to bed and we're tired because we've accomplished something. That's a totally
Mhm.
different level of tired. And I can be juiced and amped and get all of it done, when I'm on that high. But it's different when your body is just like, I'm exhausted. Like I remember telling somebody for the first time, like, my ankles are tired. And they were like, girl, what does that even mean? I said, I don't know. But that's how they
That's
feel.
how it
Like my
feels.
wrists are tired. If my wrists are tired, my wrists want to lay down. My brain is tired. And so that is definitely a thing. So I think for anybody else who feels that or who navigates that, you hear about anemia all the time from folks, but you don't really think about like what happens with it. So not that being anemic is a disability, but I think that some of the ways that it show up can definitely feel a little crippling.
Yeah.
So it's really aligned with what we're talking about, this month with Disability Pride Month.
Yeah. I think a lot of it's very brave of you and vulnerable of you to open up about that because a lot of the times you don't want to be seen like you're weak or you're, oh my god, like something's wrong with me. I know for the longest I have a similar experience, a little different, but for the longest I've struggled with thyroid issues, and then so I take medicine every day for my thyroid. Every morning I take medicine, and I get very frustrated because with thyroid is very hormonal. So I could have slept 8, 9 hours and, like, I'm still very tired, very sluggish, like, comes with weight issues. That's another story for another day, but it, like, makes me really, really tired, really exhausted, and then so you take these medicine thinking, oh, well, I'm taking the medicine, it should work. And then finding out that that's not happening, you start wondering, am I doing something wrong? Like I'm taking it as I've
Hmm.
been told. And then so just really diving into research and noticing that I'm not alone. Like there's a bunch of people that take the same medication, has the same diagnosis as me, and they're tired too. They don't feel good. They get hormones are all over the place. So sometimes the smallest things will make me cry or the smallest things will make me angry. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. And then finding out that I'll be honest, I tell my doctor, like, I hate feeling this way. I hate feeling this way. What else can I do? But never finding answers. It's always like, well, maybe change your diet a little bit. Maybe do this. And it's like, bruh, like I've done that. And then finding your community online and seeing that you're not alone, that it's not just you. But I just wish that maybe I'm in the wrong doctor too. Let's just call it a bug. I could be having the wrong. I'm trying to like research and see like what other options do I have. But it does. It makes me very tired. And then sometimes even if I want to stay awake, I can't. And that's very feels very like my hands are tied. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I want to do more,
Hmm.
but I can't. And then I push through a lot, and I know you do too, but we also have to stop and know and realize that we do have illnesses or conditions or whatever the case may be that stop us from being, super energized all the time. So I know for me, I was doing research and it's like you also need other nutrients, you need vitamins, and then so just finding the right things that help you out. But also knowing that you do need the rest. You do need to be like more sympathetic to yourself. And also, on another note, if you are feeling these things and you haven't been diagnosed with anything, go get a checkup because you would be surprised. It might not just be just you. It might not be. I know a lot of people are like, just thug it out, just keep pushing, like get some sleep, like you said, and and you almost feel like you never get enough sleep. It could be something
Hmm.
that you don't even know you have, and then it might
Correct.
give you some answers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing too is it's a different type of tired. It's a different type of tired. And you can definitely feel it. I know that there are people who love me in my life who when they call me and it's like 5:30 and I'm in the bed, they're like, "Girl, what you doing? Hey, you in the bed already?" And I'm like, first of all, I don't owe anybody an explanation.
Mm,
I don't. And listen, if you don't owe anybody an explanation other than yourself. So just finding out for yourself. Like I didn't I there listen, I am a test case. I am The outbreak monkey. Not because I'm black. I see what you did there. Fix your face. But if you've ever seen Outbreak, the movie with the monkey in it, a lot of the times the things that happen, I just look, and my best friend's mom always says to me, Again, another one." And I'm like, "Girl, I didn't ask for this, and I wish that y'all would have told me this when I was a little pup. That when you get older, things happen, and they don't work like they used to." But also not knowing what not normal is, right? So when we were talking about like me going to get double bags of iron, it was like, okay, well, what would have put you in that situation? When your iron is down to 5 or 6, not a piece of red meat is gonna help you out of that. Not a bowl
Mhm.
of beans is gonna help you out of that. It is 100% like you having to get some kind of medical intervention to get your numbers up to a reasonable level. So, um, again, when I hit 6, and I was like, "Oh, I feel like crap," and everyone's like, "Oh God, girl, your numbers, you need a bag now.
I was
Stat,
gonna
get over there."
ask, what did you
hmm
have, like, what symptoms? How did you feel, like, for you to go? Because obviously you have to go get your blood checked to realize that you're at a
hmm
6, right? But what got you there? Or what gets you there?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of things. So, one of the benefits of being diabetic is that I always have to get my blood pulled every 3 months to get that checked out. So, a part of my regular lab work is for them to, run my iron levels and those type of things. So, getting a full workup. So
Mhm,
then when you start to look at it and you just start to, I was like, okay, well, I know, being diabetic that my numbers are going to be you know, what they're gonna be for my A1C. Um,
mhm,
but then when you're like, "Well, what are these other lower numbers?" And they're like, "Girl, that's your iron," or "Girl, that's your
mhm,
blood count. Like, why is that so low?" And then for my doctors, they were a little thrown off because they were just kinda like, "Your iron and your blood levels are low? Like, girl, what's going on? Where is this blood going to?" Because it was just like, "Are you waking up in a pool of blood? Like, what is happening?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Nothing. It's always what it's always been." Um and then just sort of I had to go see a hematologist, so that's a blood expert. We did all of the tests in the world to see if I had cancer, just to see if there was like some kind of growth that was sort of taking not only the iron but the blood. Um, but it was just feeling like really, really tired. So I would be in the middle of my work day
mhm.
and like I could not sit up anymore. And I would just go get in the bed.
Oh, wow.
I was very, very thankful for the manager that I had at the time, who's a really good friend now. When I was trying to figure out what was going on, because I was going to the doctor every 2 weeks to try to figure out like what was happening with me, all the way around. And I've had more colonoscopies than anybody should ever have to have in their life. Um, but one of the things that she said is like, I can see, and this was all, during COVID. So you're looking at somebody through a screen, right? And I think at that point we had never met in person. And she was like, I can just tell that you're not you. So if you need to go lay down, I don't need you to send me nothing other than shoot me a text and just say, I'm not feeling well and take care of you. And that level of care and compassion and concern was really thoughtful. I remember one time I went to go check my mail and she had sent me like some gift cards to grab food so that I didn't have to be like sitting up and trying to cook at the same time that I was feeling, exhausted and, that type of thing. But it was just feeling like I could not get enough rest. And I was just like, I'm taking naps, I'm doing all the things, and I just feel really worn down and really exhausted. And then like walking up my little flight of steps, and then I would be extremely winded. And I was like, something's
Mm,
wrong.
yeah.
So going to the doctor and them just sort of figuring out, okay, this is what's happening. Now we just need to, identify the root cause. And that took like 2 years of us doing every 2 weeks back and forth to the doctor, and then again me getting bags of iron. So I can tell right now that I need a bag of iron. Will they give me one? I don't know. But but yeah. But just sort of feeling like that, feeling extremely worn down and just exhausted. And no matter how much rest you get, there was no
Yeah.
like
Mm-mm.
bounce back from it.
Yeah. So if you're out there, you feel the same way, or you've been
Mhm.
diagnosed, or you can relate, say tell us something in the comments because we want to hear from you. Like I mentioned, it goes a long way to know that you're not alone, and then and to know that there's a lot of us that have to live with this because it's a whole nother level of like you try to pull energy from anywhere you can, and it's like sometimes there's nothing left to give and you just have to tap out. And so I know
Yeah.
I talk a lot about how I fall asleep in movies and stuff, and I be tired, y'all. I be tired. I always say after 2, I start declining at a rapid speed. And that's
Mhm.
exactly how I feel. So when you tell me that you're in bed at 5:30, I'm like, okay, see, I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Mhm.
It's something just
Mhm.
beyond you. You can't explain it. Like you said, even your eyelashes hurt. Like legit, you're that tired.
Yeah, it's okay. And I think too, one of the things that you brought out a little earlier, so getting away from the medical, but just going into like the happenings in the world, right?
Mm,
Um, I think just the consistent negative messaging, and I don't like to use the word negative freely like that, but it's a
mm,
thing. Like when
mm.
you're constantly hearing about people losing their lives or um people just being hateful and mean to each other for like things that people can't change. Hate me for some stuff I can change, but don't hate
True.
me for stuff that I can't. Hate
I
me because
can't
I
help my
said
skin
something out of
color.
pocket. Can't help that. Can't help that. There's nothing I can do about it. And even if there was something I could do about it, guess what? I'm not going to do
I wouldn't
anything
do it.
about it.
Yeah.
Period. So I think that sometimes, in spaces where you want to make an impact and you want to do something, you also have to come face to face with things that are not the prettiest,
Yeah.
right? And because you don't want to bring anybody else down or you don't want to be mad all the time. Sometimes my therapist says this to me all the time. Like sometimes you stay in the fight too long, and she has caught me many a times of Shamel, you stayed into the fight too long. So whether it's, relationships with people or like being passionate about a thing and wanting to like try to right the world from where I can, like sometimes you stay in it too long and you don't just say like, hey, I need a breather right now. Everybody needs a breather. And one of the things that Z called out, which is true, and I love about our connection, is that if I'm not okay, and I just need it for whatever reason. I don't have to give you an explanation. And I'm like, Z, I ain't got it today. And she'll be like, all right, cool. Just let me know when you want to get back. Like, cool. Hey, can we do some next week? Or, it's never any pressure. But as soon as I say like, hey, I just, I just need a minute, whether it's my heart, my head, or my body is heavy. I appreciate the fact that you always hold space. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. Say likewise. I always tell everybody like I'm very good at. I wouldn't say I have a good poker face because I don't think I do, but I'm very good at when anybody asks, "Are you okay?" I'm good. I'm good, and everything is just. But this one has a way of seeing right through it. So there's a lot of times that
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "No, you know what? I need a beat." Like, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about it later. I don't wanna talk about it because 'cause I'll burst out into tears, but, like, I just need a beat, and it's like, it's always that open space, and I think it goes into, like, also having boundaries. I've been really bad historically, like, if I look at my life in a whole, of setting boundaries and overbooking myself. Like, if you can
Mm-hmm.
let me know if you can relate, that sometimes you get invited to 2 or 3 events or 2 or 3 different things in one day, and there you are, "Okay, I'll make it happen." That is not enjoyable. Imma tell you right now, it's the
Mm-hmm.
worst because you feel like you're in a rush, you're back to back, and by the time you get home, you're exhausted, and I used to be that person. Now, I do say no to a lot of things, and it's no shade to anybody, but my therapist told me, "You have to set boundaries." She's like, you have a podcast now, you have an LLC, like you're trying to work with the community. She's like, you can't do it all. You need a break. And then so there's gonna be things that you're just gonna have to miss. And so I have learned this year to say no to some things. And then sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I've been told like you've changed. And it's like, no, I chose me for once. Like I chose my mental
Mm-hmm.
health. I chose my health in general. I need to rest. And so I'm just letting you know, you might get some hate, but hey, at the end of the day, you gotta choose yourself. And I wasn't doing that. I was like stretching myself way too thin.
Absolutely. Again, I'm not gonna say my therapist's name just because she gets
Yeah.
mad at me every time I do.
I don't think you've
She better
ever
stop
said
saying my
her
name.
name.
I
That's
won't,
good,
and I
and that's
won't,
good.
and I won't, because she gives me the side eye every time. So I always tell her like I keep your name internal for the people who know they know. But one of the things that she had said was when people give you those types of critiques, it's not because they've changed, it's because you have. And that's not a bad thing. Is, for people who normally don't have boundaries or who aren't able to communicate like what their needs are, as soon as you adjust something, those
Mm,
people are used to you showing up a particular type of way. So neither person is wrong. They're just used to you, overextending yourself, making it work, making it happen. And then
yeah,
as soon as you put up that boundary or you can't, then it's kind of like, wait a minute, what's wrong? Like, are you mad at me? Like, what's happening? Right.
yeah, true.
Um, and then somewhere in there, you start to feel like you owe people explanation. Let me be clear. You don't owe nobody shit.
Nope.
Okay. Period. Now, if you have kids, there is a sense of obligation that you have to your little
Yeah.
people, but you do not owe them your life. So just because your kids want to participate in 97 activities, let them pick two. They don't have to have everything that they've, ever had their heart's desires on, because that's not how the real world works, right? So, um, it is, it's a change in you and how you want to show up for you also. I can tell you this Saturday coming up, I have, and this is no exaggeration, 5 to 6 competing things all happening at the same time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And I said, why did everybody pick this particular day to do all of these things? And I was just like, hey, I agreed to this one thing months ago.
True.
You just let me know about this one thing last Friday. Like, so I'll do my best to, make maybe one or two of the things happen, but I'm also going to give myself grace to say, if I don't feel it, I'm not going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I am not going to kill myself to make something happen. Whatever the other things are, should be the other things, even if I'm not there. So, at the end of the day, it is, again, setting up the boundaries for yourself, and understanding that, like, the biggest person that you should be worried about disappointing is yourself.
Yeah.
Because if the party wasn't a party because I wasn't in it, it wasn't a party to begin with.
Period. And I get
Now, is
it.
she a good time?
Some
Yeah.
of us are the party, but
And she is. And she is. Yeah. I don't know if you feel like this, Z. And the saying in the South is that a hit dog will holler. So if any of my friends are hearing this and you feel like a hit dog, go ahead and holler, because I am
mm,
talking about you. I just won't say your name. Um, but I hate when people invite me to something and expect me to be the entertainment. I hate that. Let me say this again. Let me look in the camera. Let me get closer so that you hear me directly. I hate when you invite me to something and expect me to be the entertainment for your children, for your family members. I'm supposed to bring the vibe. Maybe I ain't got it. So
that's
if you want
true.
me to be there, just want me to be there. Don't want me to be there to be the entertainment because you lack personality. Find your personality, let your personality show up. But stop tapping me in to be the entertainment for people I don't even know. Or even for people I do know. Maybe I ain't got it. Maybe I just want to sit and be quiet. Maybe I just want to sit and enjoy the food that you offer me to come in the first place. Instead of, well,
That's
Shamil, go ahead and step and fetch it. Go ahead and tap dance for everybody. Show them the new dance move. I ain't got it.
that's true.
That's
I agree.
burnout too, of like
That's
having
burnout
to feel
too.
like you got to be on all the time, like feeling like you got to perform all the time. Like, again, naturally in my personality, you put some music on, there's always a song on my heart. So I'm always going to have a drink and a two step. Okay. That's always going to be a thing. But as soon as you make it an obligation that, like, oh my God, but everybody loves when I don't,
Yeah. Or when people say, so what, when they're like, so we're not gonna dance today? I mean, you
go ahead, go off, go crazy.
do you need me? Like, and you're right. Like, I love dancing. That is the truth. I love dancing, but there's just sometimes that the vibe might not be there, or two, I'm just not in it. Like, I'm tired. I just want to sip on a drink, listen to music, and chill. So to your point, it's like sometimes you're expected to be the life of the party always, and it's like there's just sometimes
Hmm.
that is just not it, and it sucks because then you get you've changed,
What's
or
wrong with you?
like,
What's
what's
wrong
wrong
with
with
you?
you? Are
What's
you
wrong with
mad?
you?
Like, what happened? Did you get into a fight with, with your boyfriend, or did you get into a fight? No, like, we're Gucci. Like, we're fine. I'm tired. I'm tired. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make this. So yeah, I agree with you on that. That is burnout. That is burnout.
Yeah. It adds to it because it's just
Don't be
like, man, I
shaming
just wanted to
people.
sit. No, I just wanted to sit quiet. That's it. I'm here. Just let me be. Whatever version of me showed up, let her be here. Let her be peaceful.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I guarantee you, what I'm never gonna ask you to do is be stepping fetch it for me because I entertain myself. So a lot of times, like people are always confused, and I don't know if you get this Z. So if somebody has never hung out with me before, and I get this from a lot of people, the first go round of them hanging out with me, they'll say, "Oh, I thought hanging out with you was gonna be totally different." And I was like, "Oh, you talking about based off of that social engagement that we were doing that I was hosting? I do got to be on for the things that I'm hosting. I don't have to be on for the things that you're hosting." So,
Mhm.
so, so like when people see me in my natural chill state, I have my iPad. I'm playing my game, whether it's on my phone or my iPad. I go back and forth between the two, watching a TikTok or just listening to music, and it's slow R&B, not crunk music all the time. People think that all of a sudden I'm crumping all the time. Never. So, so I think it's
Sometimes,
one of the
not
yeah.
always.
Sometimes. Let me also say this because now we're gonna go off a little bit, and Z just bring me back on. Let me
Okay,
bring it on.
okay.
Let me point this out. If we out, okay, and it's an event, all right. I don't drink much unless there's dancing involved. If you're offering me a cocktail or several, if there's no dancing involved, I am going to have one for the night. Because
Mhm.
what am I turning up for to just sit here and have peaceful, like, world solving conversation? One is what I'm going to have. Now, if we going to go out and shake something, I'm double fisting because it's party time and that's we need to go. That's my go-go juice. That's what we're doing, right? But if we just sit and having a conversation, and I hate this, people do this to me all the time too, along in that same entertainment. Oh, so you nursing? One thing
Mm.
that I will never do is nurse a thing unless the occasion calls for nursing. So if we're just sitting having a meal and I'm slamming
Yeah.
drinks, I am an alcoholic if that's what I'm doing.
Oh.
hmm Period. But if we have something to do after and I'm like, hey, we gonna dance, oh, I'm turned. Because in my mind, I'm gonna do all them dances that's in my head, right? So that's the time to turn up. So if we're doing something light and if I got on like a good outfit that is not like breathable and movable, don't be expecting outside activity from me. Mm-mm. She too tired, and you gonna get the sleepy eye from me of like, so you want me to sit here and have 14 lemon drops as we talk about um, the state of city taxes and how they might be going up.
That doesn't go
That
well
ain't
with
it.
alcohol, in
No,
my opinion.
it doesn't, and I'm gonna be mad at some point, and then I'm raging.
That's true. That
So
could
let
be a
me
bad
burn it out. Let me burn it out.
combination.
Let me drink. Let me just if we going to go see, and when I went to go see Patti LaBelle, I had absolutely nothing to drink. Why? Because Patti don't call for that. We sang it. I want my vocals to reach her or as close to her as possible. But if I have a cocktail or 17 in my system, I'm not going to sound like her or anybody worth hearing.
I'll be honest, I never get why people get so super. If you do this, no judgment, but me personally, I don't understand why people get so shit faced and just drink so much at a concert to where they don't get to enjoy the concert. You know how many times I've seen people get kicked out of venues because they're too drunk before the artist actually comes on stage? I would be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I did not just pay all this money to see this artist and not even get to see the artist. So,
Yeah,
I'm with
okay.
you on that. I be nursing I be, like, 1 or 2 drinks, like, sipping on it, vibing, singing, but I'm not, like, just pounding drinks left and right because 'cause I'm not gonna be kicked out.
No, you pay good money for that show. And let me go
Exactly.
ahead and say this. And y'all could judge me or judge your mama. or your parents, one of the two. I definitely side eye people. You, if this is you, I am side eyeing you, and this is
Very
not
personal.
we. I mean it. Do you see the eyes? You can see them a little bit. There you
You
go.
even opened that eye
I'm.
bigger.
I know this one right here, the one that's still struggling. Yeah, she's up. She's up and she's stuck. I'm gonna say this, and I mean this with my whole chest.
Mm,
Um, two of the most powerful uh concerts that I have gone to in my lifetime so far. I have
okay.
seen Beyonce 4 times.
I
Okay,
knew it was gonna be
four,
Beyonce. I knew it.
four. No, but that's not even the one I'm talking about. We didn't see
Oh,
Beyonce 4 times. I didn't see Anita Baker 4 times. Okay. I have seen Michelle and Degliocello. I've seen several artists. What I will never understand
never.
is the people eating chicken fingers and fries as your favorite is up on stage. Why didn't you eat before you came?
That's true. That's
If
fair.
especially if you just gonna get chicken fingers and fries or a pretzel or some popcorn, what are you doing? Eat before you get there. Concessions cute. Get you a cute piece of candy because you singing for a long time. Your breath might not be where you want it to be. Chicken fingers and fries, my guy. I'm side eyeing you. We are. Beyonce is about to give us the movement of our lives, and you sitting down eating chicken fingers and fries with honey mustard.
That's very specific.
I want to knock it out of your hands. You out here with a beer, pretzel, and cheese. Eat before you get there.
That's true. Or after. That works too.
Because it ain't enough room. And then, like, if you've been to those
That's
shows,
true though.
specifically an artist like Beyonce, I'll even go a little bit. I've never seen Taylor Swift in concert, but I imagine that the vibe is very similar. First of all, people are not going to stay in their assigned seat. So people are going to be crowding the steps. People are going to be on top of each other because y'all are all trying to get closer to the artist, closer to the music, closer to the beat. Get up, put your chicken fingers down because you are in the way. I understand that you paid for your seat, but what you are doing is throwing the vibe of the concert off for everybody else because you out here smelling like an appetizer. Who did that? I got on my good fragrances and my good
That's true.
lotions, my good outfit, and then you out here smelling like fast food. Eat before you get there.
Don't be smelling
I'm
like onion
sorry.
rings at a concert, is what she's saying.
Why are you here eating chicken? Why are you
Yeah.
here eating chicken?
I just
And
yeah.
then the thing is, you moved around the stadium just to see if the other concession stands had different food. N- I will knock it out of your hands and then give you the money for what you paid for it because I was raging and I shouldn't have knocked it out of your hands, but I want to.
And then you would get kicked
And
out. And then you would have missed the concert.
I've seen every time, like right before when she about to come on too. Because again, sometimes it's a wait. I hear that. I hear that. It's a wait before
Right.
your fave comes on.
But you
So for those
kinda
people who just,
know. You can test
what
it
you
out a little
know,
bit.
so like eat right. Eat it away from your seat, maybe. Like if you go to concessions, stand by the little sauces and eat it there.
That's
Come
true.
back to your seat prepared to bring the energy of the show.
That's true.
But when you sitting down and we trying to navigate your cardboard box and you don't know where to put all your trash, or all of us is stepping on the
That's
leftover
true.
pieces of bone and everything else that you got in there, diabolical.
That is true. Also,
Diabolical.
people be waiting until the artist comes on to then be passing in front of you left and right. Like I respectfully, I want to see the artist. I don't want you to
Sit
be
your
over
ass
here. Like
down.
sit your ass down. Honestly, respectfully, or stay in your seat. Like nobody wants to see the back and forth. I'm just saying.
Or, or, and now this is taking a totally different left.
And that would be the last
But
thing she will say right now about this. But go ahead, friend.
yeah, yes. Get to your seat in a
Mm,
reasonable amount of time so
true.
that you could do all the things that you need to do. Take your jacket off, take your hat off, make sure your boo is good, turn your ringer off on your phone. Because as soon as the beat drop and then all of a sudden you trying to get comfortable, you're
Mm,
going to be real uncomfortable because I've already told you I'm ready to knock your food out of your hands.
that's very true. Or why y'all pretending that y'all can't find your seats? That's also annoying. 'Cause when you have to like get somebody out of your seats, that's annoying. Also, having makeout sessions, full blown makeout sessions when the artist is singing. Okay, I get it. You love your boo, but really, really, like a full blown makeout session. I don't want to see that when I turn right or left, respectfully.
Yeah. Just I mean, do the needful. I want everybody to be here to have a good time, but they're planning.
And
Just
maybe
plan. Just
you're gonna be thinking like Z Ross, like this is not about burnout, but it is stressful.
it
Okay,
is.
it is the difference
It is
between
stressful.
burnout and stressful. That's very
Mhm.
stressful.
I told you I was gonna go left a little bit, so she went left. Now we're back on the road talking about burnout
Burnout.
because again, maybe that concert, maybe
Mm,
that show, maybe that play was like, hey, the rest and relaxation that I needed to bring
that
myself out of
is
burnout.
true.
And now look what you have done, stressed me out. So now we about to get a workout because I'm about to knock all of your things out of your hand.
You notice stress, burnout. It could have been the last drop that she needed for her cup to be overflowing with burnout. And it could have been something that little,
Correct.
something that tiny because she's already, because to be honest, you go to listen to music to relax, to sing, and then you have all these other factors that you can't control. But like you have to be mindful. So
I'm just saying, and you're probably saying to yourselves right now, but they sell food there, and I'm
that's
like,
true.
yes, and I am appreciative of it as a diabetic because sometimes you just need a morsel to push you over, but there are also appropriate times to ingest said morsel.
That is true. I
Just
totally agree.
be better and do better. Be better and do
Be
better.
better. Do better.
That's
Yeah.
all. Minimal requirement. But burnout is 100% real. I think that the stress of working and on top of everything else, people have, family obligations. Our parents and things are getting older.
Yeah.
On top of us getting older, your littles are getting older. The requirements for them are increasing. One of the things that I don't think that we pay attention to enough, I was actually thinking about this last week, is somebody said this when they were talking about their little people having to be worried now about them going out and making it back home safely. Whereas I know we have definitely talked about it
I
as
said that.
Alexis has stepped out. Yeah, Alexis has stepped out. You've been like, wait a minute, nah. I got to make sure that my baby's okay. Where is she? What are you doing? And it feels a little bit different, and not a comparison of generations, but I do think that when we were a little younger, we could go outside and play, and that was
Mhm.
preferred. Get out, go outside, get away from me, come back home before the street lights come on. And the times are changing, and that is not where we are now.
Yeah, no.
And there's a lot more concern about the babies leaving and then not making it back home, so that adds a whole nother level of stress and concern that adds to burnout of just like worry in general will suck the life out of you, and if you allow it to eventually take your life.
Yeah.
So it is, just being mindful of checking in with
Mhm.
those things. I know that Z and I, with our friend group, we have our wind down Wednesdays, just to say like, sometimes you can feel like you're in an island all on your own, and there's nobody who understands like what you're feeling, and that's a
Yeah.
place where we come together just to sort of talk about like, hey, I'm feeling a little frustrated with this thing, or hey, I'm working through this issue, and then just having people to just sort of listen to you. Like sometimes it's coming away from that, hearing from the members of that group of just like, dang, I feel a whole lot better just because I
Yeah.
got to say it.
Yeah. I know there's been a few times that you never wanna. I hate that sometimes we think this way, but I think that a lot of people think this way. You're like you don't wanna burden your friends when you're going through it because sometimes it's really hard being an adult with all the different things that you have on your plate to stay consistent with checking up on friends. It's not that you don't and family. It's not that you don't want to. I love my friends and family. I really do. And sometimes they're in my mind, on my mind, but in the moment, I have 5 different things going on, and I can get sidetracked so easily, and then so I do feel and I do think that a lot of the times, what ends up happening is that they feel like, "Oh, you already moved on, you're not, you might not be in the friendship," but it's not that, it's just that we just have a lot on our plates. So sometimes when you're going through it, it's like you kinda wanna reach out, but then you feel like, "Damn, am I being selfish? Because I haven't even reached out to see how they were doing, and now I'm gonna reach out and say, 'I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling.'" So then what happens? You suppress those feelings and you just kinda eat it, right? You just eat it, you sit on it, sit on it, sit on it until you explode, and then you also feel like, "They're not gonna understand me." I see them on Instagram, Facebook, they look so happy, they look like they have no problems. That's all a facade, that's all a moment. Like,
Mhm.
I can post one picture and you would think that I'm doing great. It doesn't mean that I'm doing great. It's just that in that moment I thought that was a good picture. And I was just like, you know what? I've been a little MIA. At least people will know that I'm good. That this is something that I would like to share with people on my social media. But I think it's important to point out that there's a lot of people that are going through it. And then so sometimes being more intentional. Like I know that this month in particular, we decided we're gonna throw in another wine down Wednesday just to check in. Like just like we
Mhm.
like trying, right? Because we're all going through it. And then identifying that it's okay if I don't check up on you. Let's say that we only do it once a week. I still care about you. And if you need me, knock at my door. I always say that. Like if you're out there, you're my friend, my family, you want to talk to me, whatever, even if you haven't talked to me in months, if you need me, just let me know. I need a listening ear. That's okay. Like, I'm not gonna shame you for that. I know how busy it is. And I only have 2 kids. I know some of my friends that have way more kids or whatever, or they're smaller children, so they need more attention. And I understand that. Like, I never get mad at anybody for that. But I think we have to normalize that a little bit more because we
Mhm.
are busy,
Mhm.
we are busy. I know you and I talk almost every day, but there's also sometimes that we know like, okay, she right now she needs that rest, she needs to get away, she needs that, and we're respectful of that. And then so but we're also able to like, hey, I'm not doing good right now. I think just having
Mhm.
those conversations because friendship and family should be more than just the good times. And I think we always just focus on that. Like you said, the life of the party in that moment. Even the life of the party goes through it. How many times have we not heard of the
Yep.
happiest, the funniest person out there that has gone through the worst mental health or that has gone through it or that they're not with us anymore and nobody even knew that it was coming because they were hiding because they were always supposed to be the outgoing ones, the fun ones, right? That carries a lot of weight too.
Absolutely. And I think too, just understanding where you are and assuming positive intent. And I know that's really, really hard to do.
Mm,
But like if my friend is going through it, don't if you ain't got it for you, then you definitely not gonna have it for me. Or you
true.
shouldn't. So I think just giving, people grace to say, you know, I haven't heard from this person. And like you said, it's not because they don't care. Maybe they just ain't got it. So like it's horrible to be on the phone with somebody and you're just like, why did this mug call me? And now whatever they had going on with their funk is now my funk. Understanding what capacity that you have. So if somebody is going through something, don't automatically just offer yourself because you might not have it to be able to support them in the way that they need. And they might not need you to support them. They might just need you to listen. Right. So sometimes we get so action driven, especially for women. We get so like, hey, let me solution, let me fix. And nobody asked you to do that. So that's another thing that my therapist says to me all the time. Shamil, who asked you to? Who asked you to? Who asked you to? I'm like, but what? Okay, okay, wait, nobody asked me. But see, so but who asked you? And I'm like, okay,
But that's the
nobody.
expectation.
That's what they expect me to do. And she's like, but have they conveyed that to you? And I'm like, they have not.
It was
So
assumed.
it was a yeah, right. But I think it's, again, preserving yourself because again, sometimes you give, and then you end up resenting the people that you gave to.
Mhm.
But again, nobody asked you to, and you didn't even save enough for yourself. So now you're contributing to your burnout.
Yep. That is very true. I think And I think it's also okay to ask for help. I know, like, as a parent, you feel like you can't tap out, like you can't afford it. You have little people, you have a whole house that depends on you, so you just feel like you can't do it, you can't tap out. And I think it's important to ask for help. I know a lot of moms, dads that go through it because I don't know, maybe their child needs more attention, right, than others. And then so also learning how to have your space. I think I heard somewhere, and I was really bad at this because I was very helicopter mom. I think I still am to this point a little bit. I'm trying to work on it. But it was like I wanted to make sure that my kid, I was always there. I was always there. And it's like sometimes you need a break. That's why they say sometimes if you have been not having sleep and the baby's crying, go to another room and take some time off. Take like a little 10 minute, right? Take a 5 minute because you also need to make sure that you're okay. And I think that parent guilt or caregiver guilt, because also taking care of a sick parent, an elder, grandparent or parent or a spouse, all of those things fall in the same category. And that's where I say we need to make sure that we're asking for help. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that, damn, like, it's okay sometimes. Let's call it a buck. Sometimes the people that we love the most might annoy us a little bit. You might need a little break. Like I need a 5 minute, 10 minute away from me. I need to walk away from this. So it's okay to ask for that help and take a step because if you need to be a caregiver no matter what, then you need to make sure you give yourself a little break because if not, one day you're gonna break and then that's it. You're not. So who's gonna take care of that person, right? So
Correct.
just making sure that you have your village, that you have your support system, or something in place to where you can have at least a few minutes in the day for yourself. I think that's really important and to not feel guilty about it because it's a little bit different when you have to care for people. Like you said, when it's like friends, families, it's a party or it's I don't know, a reception, whatever the case may be, it's okay to say no. But like when you're a caregiver and you have to take care of somebody, that's a little bit harder to step away from. But also being intentional and doing it, right? Which I think is very important and doesn't get talked about enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know that we have talked about burnout to exhaustion.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Burnout who?
But bur because what yeah, burnout is a thing, baby. So for everyone who is listening, please take moments for yourself. um, and don't limit it. So whatever it is that you need, again, we all have responsibilities. We all have things that we have to do, but also make yourself a priority as something that also has to be done and also has to be taken care of and also has to be nourished and fed, because you deserve it. So make sure that you are taking care of yourselves. If there's any self care things that you do, I know that
Mm.
sometimes it's like, well, how is that massage going to help? Baby, I don't know, but just keep trying things
It
until you
helps.
find what your thing is. Cause listen, a massage feels good, honey. Especially when they get into the tissue.
You get to unplug your mind. Like, they have, like, the aesthetic
Mhm.
for it is dark with candles, and then you're just getting massage, and there's no interruptions in there. That's
Mhm.
that's already a blessing, I think.
Correct. I agree. I the last couple massages I had, not this was never a thing before, but reaching that sense of being able to unplug and feel comfortable. A dope masseuse that I have named Heather at Body and Soul. What's up, Heather? Uh, I fell asleep the last couple times, and it was not only the fact that the massage felt fantastic, but just because we have built a comfortable rapport with each other,
Yeah.
where um I was like, girl, I fell asleep, and she was like, you did, you must have needed it, and I was like, I guess I did. But it felt good to be in a safe space where I didn't have to think about anything, or nobody was asking me to do a thing, and I could just be. So, just finding your safe space. So whether that's going out in nature and just sitting, because that is
Mm.
also a thing I found during COVID. Um, but just doing check-ins with yourself.
I just wanna say this because Ross the Boss did this to me on her birthday, and to a few others of us, so if you're out there, you know who you are. So she unplugged, didn't answer any of our messages, which is fine. It's fine. But at least let the
Did
person
not.
know that you're gonna go MIA, you know? Because we were over here like planning a search party. We're trying to figure out like who do we call, where is she, what is going on. So all I'm saying is you could just give a heads up. I'm gonna go MIA for the next 24 to 48 hours. That'd be great. And then do your thing. But my friend over here just went MIA and then like over 24 hours and I'm over here like, hey, are you alive? And and all the things. So all that to say, it's okay to be selfish. 100%. It is. It is. I love that for you. I was definitely worried because it was very unlike you. So I was like, damn, what is
Mhm,
going
mhm.
on?
That's
Like
fair.
no type of
Yeah,
heads up.
when I came back to no, when I came back to, I was like, "What is happening? Why is everybody worried?" And I got a message that said, "If you do not check in, we're calling police." And I was like, "Bruh, relax."
See, it wasn't just me.
I all I was doing was laying in the bed and
Yeah.
just binged out on TV. Like, and then the crazy thing is, so don't take this sob story from Z. All of them have my location.
I didn't have it until after that day. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair. But the other
Thank
folks
you.
in the chat had my location. So I'm
See, they
like,
didn't say
you
that.
seen that I haven't moved. I haven't moved. You have my location. So I'm just like, okay, great. But definitely check in with your folks because, even before this past birthday, I've definitely had the police at my door because people are just like, hey, we ain't heard from you.
Yeah.
That's not like you. Hey, I
Yeah.
text you. And I was like, I didn't even have my phone. It was on the other side of the bed. And they're just like, uh-huh. Well, the police at your door now.
Can we at least have like an out of office message or something like unavailable for the next
Hmm.
24 to 48 hours? I can live with that.
I guess it was unintentional. So, but then that would go against what I just said of like, you don't owe anybody an explanation.
That's
Just check in
true.
with your folks.
Just check
Just
in with
check
your
in with your
folks.
folks, though.
We were just
Just check
worried,
in with your
that's all.
folks.
It was all good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, "Are you okay, friend?" That was the only thing. So,
That's fair.
I knew
That's
you were
fair.
in
That's
good
fair.
company, but you just never know. It was just in the
Mm-hmm.
moment very unlike you, but I love that you did that. I was like, "Dang, I wanna do that one day." Like, totally
Mm-hmm.
unplug. Hmm, that should be
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
So, as we navigate burnout, whether you got there because of, the stresses of, day-to-day things with work and family, or you're navigating, medical challenges, just be gentle with yourself.
Mhm.
And, if it starts to feel like it's too much, understand that there are people out there to talk to, whether it's your friends or professionals. If it feels abnormal, please go to the doctor, you
Yeah.
know? Please don't avoid it because a lot of times these things do have resolutions that you can come to. Get you a good bag of iron, baby. Once you get if you ever need 2 bags, once you get the 2 bags in, you feel great.
I don't know about
You
that
get the 2 bags.
$7,000 copay though, but yeah, 100%.
Hey, hey,
You
hey.
taught me
Oh,
something
no,
new.
no, no.
I always thought that eating beans was gonna help the situation, which is why I was like, I don't have iron problems because I eat beans often. But I was totally wrong.
Hmm.
That was an assumption.
Yeah, it
Blame my
depends on
mom.
where your level is.
Just
It's
kidding.
just where your levels are. So the one thing that my doctor told me, because at one point I was trying to become a vegetarian, and she said
Uh,
you will never eat enough beans or spinach to get your levels up to where you need them to be. So
dang.
she was like, eat the damn steak, and I was like, but I don't want to. And she was like, eat the damn steak, and I was like, okay.
Mm,
So I legit had a script that said that I was supposed to eat 2 steaks twice a week.
wow. So you low
Mhm.
low low low.
Yeah, so it was like, yeah. And I was like, "Did you just give me a script to eat steak?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, all right, I did that." Uh, but um, again, just make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. And again, we are here. If ever you want to
Yeah.
talk about it, if you want to be invited to Wind Down Wednesday,
Let us know.
let us
Who knows? We could
know.
have like a huge wind down Wednesday once a quarter or something. You never know. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. Let us know if that's what you need. We all need to get away. And at the same time, you're like you don't have to go out of your way to get away. You can just grab your phone, your laptop, whatever the case may be, and jump in on call. Grab your wine, of course.
Mhm.
We do drink wine in there. Some people are
I
against
do not
wine.
drink wine.
Some people are against wine. I don't know why. I don't know what wine did to them, but anyways, neither here nor there.
Hmm.
But
I will drink a mean juice though. Get a mean juice. a mean little juice with some ice in it. The little pellet ice, baby. Did I
There you
buy a
go.
pellet ice maker? Yes, I did. Cause I couldn't go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, those that ice was good.
Mm,
That Chick-fil-A ice though, or the Sonic ice. I ain't gonna lie. There's been times
mhm.
that I buy the bag, but we're not gonna talk about that right now.
Just get the
But
ice maker, friend. Just get the ice maker.
send me what you got. I'm curious. Send me the link.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Mhm.
But friends, family, remember burnout is very real. Is you're not too lazy, you're not like doing too much, you're not being selfish. It is 100% real, and a lot of us go through it. We do want to leave you with a few easy affirmations to work through that burnout. I know you might not believe it, but I think it's very real that when you see something and you repeat it to yourself, it actually sticks. So whether you have sticky notes around your desk or you want to put it on your mirror, these are very easy. And I am going to go ahead and talk about a few of them that might be able to help you. Or some of you, sometimes what I do is I have them on my phone, on my lock screen, and I'm like, huh, okay, all right, I see you. But there is a few. One of them says, rest is productive. So I know a lot of us are always trying to be productive and, oh, we're not doing enough. Rest is part of production. If you don't rest, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be able to be as productive as you would think. Um,
Mhm.
I don't have to earn my worth through exhaustion. I really like that one. I thought I was when I saw
Mhm.
that one, I was like, yes, yes, because just because you're so busy doesn't determine how valuable or how important you are. That's not how it should be measured anyway.
Absolutely.
My the next one, I'm dropping some good ones, and we will have them on our social media. My value isn't measured by how busy I am. So it
Mm.
kind of goes with our other affirmation. And lastly, and I think listen to this one because I think a lot of us can relate just based on our upbringing. Taking care of myself isn't selfish. It's sustainable.
Mm. Say
I think
that.
that one's
Repeat
important.
that one. Yeah, repeat
Taking
that one.
care of myself isn't selfish. It's sustainable.
Absolutely.
So that is 100% on brand, on point. I think that we learn at an early age. I know me and Shamil have talked about our childhood and how we were always productive, or it was always like 6, 7 in the morning, 8 on the weekends, cleaning up, doing all the things, just go, 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 gadget, like Shamil said. And so having to rewire yourself to rest is okay. It's hard. It's hard. It's not an easy task at all. Um
Mhm.
but I think that it's important that you don't feel selfish. You don't feel like, oh, because I did this for me, like I let somebody else down. It shouldn't be like that. If somebody really loves you and cares about you, they will understand that you sometimes have to be selfish.
Correct. Yep.
So, friend, let me ask you before we say bye to our family and friends, how are you feeling? Burnout versus Roz the Boss, where we at?
It's the same.
Oh, okay.
But I did get passionate about those chicken fingers and fries though. So that did get me a little juiced. But 100% as soon as we break this down, baby, she about to take her a good shower and she's about to go lay her tail down. Do I have another meeting right after this? Absolutely. Do I have
Absolutely.
anything to say? No. I'm just going to cut it on, let the conversation happen and get in my bed. Mhm.
There you go. And with
Mhm.
that, we just want to thank y'all again for listening to another episode of Unmuted with Z and Roz the Boss. We hope you enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself and always stay unmuted.
Stay unmuted.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And always staying unmuted.